From sunup to sundown, the golf course is a place for beginners and experts alike to get away from the stresses of life and enjoy a round on the course. From plush greens to rolling fairways, golf courses are undoubtedly beautiful, but it is what happens behind the scenes that takes your experience from just average to unforgettable. Cobblestone Golf Course was built in 1993, and although it was built by the Cobb County government, the ownership of the property is actually threefold. The property that Cobblestone sits on is owned by the Army Corps of Engineers. But then, once the construction of the original course was built, Cobb County took out a 100-year lease on the property. Lastly, the management at Cobblestone works for a company called Mosaic Clubs and Resorts that manages the property for the county.
I'm over pretty much everything operationally here at Cobblestone. I'm over not only the budgeting and the forecasting for how we will do business-wise, but the implementation of the budgets that we do put together and the management of day-to-day operations. Cobblestone Golf Course is a fully public facility, which is different from the last 4 properties that I've managed, in that those were all private. This is very public, and anybody can come out and play Cobblestone at any time. And it's very much a rallying point for this community.
But what goes into making Cobblestone look as good as it does year-round? The maintenance department works tirelessly to make sure the course is well kept up with and looking as good as it possibly can.
Well, maintenance pretty much makes the golf course what it is. If you don't have a maintenance crew, you might not have a well-established golf course. And coming from a private club, I wanted to bring some aspects from a private club to a public course.
The maintenance crew arrives at the course bright and early to get started at 6 a.m., if not earlier. The goal is to make sure all their regular tasks as well as other odd jobs here and there are completed before the public arrives at the course to begin their rounds. These tasks include mowing grass, changing pins, blowing off tees and greens, and many other tasks that help to maintain and even better the course's condition.
If you have a good crew and good management practices and BMP's best management practices, and you incorporate those, and you have a cooperative team that acknowledges and understands and fulfills those management practices, and you can have a very well established and good playability golf course.
Another important and often overlooked group of employees is the staff of rangers. Rangers are employees at Cobblestone whose primary job is to ensure that the pace of play is being enforced. Oftentimes, they aren't the most well-liked employees by the customers. However, they do play a crucial role in the flow of operations.
My responsibilities include just basically keeping the traffic or the golfers going free through the rounds of golf, making sure there's no problems. If there's a hang-up of some sort, I try to get involved to find out what the hang-up is and try to move them forward. Also, I look at make sure divots are covered through, and I also pick up tees. Generally keep the course clean.
Moving along, the cart attendants are another vitally important part of the staff. Their work is equally centered around customer service and keeping up with the basic day-to-day course operations.
All the cart attendants pretty much have all the responsibility with the customers and making sure that the course is ready to go and the place is looking good. So we do the driving range. We have to go pick up the balls, wash the balls off, make sure the machine's full, and then wash off all the carts when they come back in, and then position them back in here for the next day.
Primarily, as the title would suggest, the golf carts are the main responsibility of the cart attendants. From bringing them out in the morning to washing them off at night, they must always be at the center of their attention. Last but not least, the spotlight turns to the Cobblestone Pro Shop. The Pro Shop, although seemingly just for retail purposes, is quintessential to the flow of play out on the course at the start of every round.
Well, the first thing that responsibility is to make sure that the individuals are here on time. They scheduled a tee time. We expect them to be here for that tee time for the convenience of them and to keep from inconveniencing the follow-on golfers that come in. I coordinate with the starter. I coordinate with the rangers to let them know what's going on as far as the number of golfers that have come in and paid their appropriate fees and if they're ready to go.
But this is not to say that a large portion of his job is not centered around retail. The merchandise in the Pro Shop is always well kept up with and looking fashionable thanks to the Pro Shop team.
And that starts with getting it in, inventorying it, then displaying it appropriately, making sure that it's constantly arranged in a neat and orderly fashion, so that it sort of catches the golfer's eye. It may be something they're looking for, or just one of those impulse buys where they see something, they like it, they like the color, they like the style, and they'll go ahead and pick it up.
The highly talented and hard-working team at Cobblestone is always thinking about how to give the golfer a better experience during his or her time on the course. If the customer left Cobblestone overwhelmingly satisfied, then it was a job well done.
I would say it is at the top of our list. I believe every employee that works for Mosaic, every employee that works here at Cobblestone, our job is to make sure that the golfer's having as great of an experience in his golf outing as he possibly can have.
The employees at Cobblestone will bend over backwards to ensure that operations are running smoothly and that people are having the best experience possible. There is much more behind the golf course than just a pretty landscape. For over 20 years, Cobblestone has provided the best of scenery and customer service to the small town of Acworth, Georgia, and has received high praise along the way. Therefore, it is more than just a golf course. Rather, it is a common ground for the community to come together as a whole.